Good evening. Today is the last day of March, and looking back, there were several big days in March that I had planned to do streams for and didn't. Mario Day, St. Patty's Day, and International Women's Day, they all came and went, and I never actually put together a show for them. So let's at least get one major March occurrence done before the month is out. And let's do first day of spring. Let's celebrate the first day of spring was last week. So let's celebrate the end of the first full week of spring. So Lego put together last year Lego released a line of sets that are based on botanical plants. There's a lot of beautiful plants, flower bouquets, and arrangements in this line. And so I thought it'd be nice to do the bonsai tree. And let me show you why. Let me switch over here. So as you can see, this is the cover page of the instruction manual for the bonsai tree set. If we come down to the next page, you can see also a hint of cherry blossom leaves. And then if you come to, okay, he's a Lego designer. If you come here, you can see there's two different models you can build with this set. You can build a traditional green leaf tree, or you can build a springtime pink blossom cherry tree. So we're actually going to use the magic of computers and do both. After the trunk is the same for both. So after we build the trunk, we're going to use the magic of Control-C, copy, paste, and we're gonna build both these trees. And I think this is a great way to welcome spring, because every spring, and in fact it's doing it right now, our tree in front of our house actually does the pink cherry blossom leaves. And it's really pretty right now, so let's capture that excitement in Lego form. Let me switch over to the studio. So we of course have to start by building oh, interesting. I'm looking at this book, scrolling down, and it looks like certain Lego elements, not all of them, but certain Lego elements, including the ones shaped like trees and bushes, are made from a plant-based plastic. Apparently, Lego is on a mission to increase the percentage of pieces made from these plastics. Interesting. So plant-based plastic, I did not know that. All right. So bag 1 to 3, we'll do the same thing we usually do, where we'll save on the bags. And then it looks like bags 1 to 3 is the base and the trunk. Bag 4 is green leaves. Bag 5 is cherry leaves. And then bag 6 is that wooden table that you saw them sitting on. So we'll have to copy the table too once we finish that. So bag 1, it looks like, is our little base that the plant sits in. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so bag 1. Alright, so bag 1. Alright, so we start by 8x6 plate. And we'll put that right in the middle here. And then step 2, we have modify, we have these little bits. And then we need the other 8x6 plate. And then wow, alright. And then it tells me to put the rest of these around the base. Tell you what we're gonna do. It'll be easier to line them up if I hide those. That's one feature you can't do with physical Lego, And another one you'll see later when we copy the tree trunk so we can make both trees. And that's another thing we can't do with physical Lego. If I was building the actual set with real Lego, I would either have to choose one tree or the other, or I would have to buy 2 copies of the set, physically build the whole trunk twice for a much, much longer stream. But we couldn't do what we're doing today, where we just build the trunk once and then Control-C copy it over, and then we can build 2 trees. That would not be possible in real life in the way we're doing it tonight on the computer. There's some other advantages to having computer Lego as opposed to real Lego as well, such as no price limits, there's no budget involved, there's you can build with pieces, you can choose colors for pieces where that piece doesn't exist in that color in real life. You have an infinite supply, doesn't take up any space, so you don't have to worry about storage. But as fun as computer Lego is, it's still, there's still a certain something about playing with actual physical Lego that you just don't get on the computer. And I can't put that into words. If you're a Lego fan, you know what I'm talking about. But still, I consider this an acceptable way for me to continue my Lego hobby without having a budget to actually get real Lego at this time. Eventually, once I'm able to afford it, I'll maybe do a small collection of real Lego. But I'm certainly not going to be able to get all the stuff that I'm building on stream now. That's just too much money. Even the cheap sets are not cheap. So as usual, when I'm building, sometimes I don't talk as much, and that's probably going to happen a bunch today, where I'll stop talking to concentrate. The Botanical series reminds me a lot of the Architecture series in how in the in how they do the designs and make the sets. Beautiful display pieces with some non-standard build techniques. I'm sure we'll see some non-standard techniques tonight. Okay, what's going on here? Alright. What just happened? Let's fix that real quick. Okay, so we're about 11 minutes in, and we're already making a good start on our project. We're a good ways into the instructions already. And, so yeah, we're definitely coming along nicely here. 24 of those. we're gonna speed this up a little bit. Yeah. Control C isn't just for whole tree trunks. Sometimes it'll speed up repetitive elements as well. This is another thing that you can't do with physical Lego. Real Lego would have taken me about 3 to 4 times as long to put those little curved bits on. So now I need my 12 by 2s. And then tiles. Here's another step I'm going to speed up. Yeah, repetitive steps like that I try to speed up whenever possible. Oh, and here's a little sub-build with a ×4. Let me actually make the sub-build first, I think. All right, what piece is that? Interesting use of a tire piece to make part of the stand. Interesting, I like that. So I've just Control C, so we can pop in 4 of these legs. And they go right here on the corners like that. Oh, I forgot to flip it over. That's why it wasn't lining up. Ah, that one's off. Shoot, this one's off too. All right. Yeah, everything's lined up properly. The question is, which way is front? I've lost sight of which way is supposed to be front. Okay, that's front. Alright, so it says we're ready for bag 2. Bag 2 is the tree trunk, it looks like. And shoot, there's a whole vine piece. We may skip the vine piece, because you know how hard it is to work with flexible parts in the studio. This is bag 1. I'll just call this pot, or I'll call this base. And bag means we save, and we're going into bag 2 already. So it looks like it wants me to start this as a side build, which I'm okay with, because when we do side builds, it can prevent some confusion in how things are supposed to be oriented. Let's move this closer so the camera doesn't get as wonky. Actually, I need it far because this is going to have some height to it. Alright, what's going on here? Is that a plate? Yeah, that's a plate. I misaligned something, I think. Yeah. That's not the piece I grabbed. Alright, that's supposed to... Alright, now we're back in business. But wait, I forgot another piece as well. Nice use of the gold bar piece for some wood detailing here. Textured detailing, I mean. So yeah, we're gonna build... We're working on the tree trunk area. That actually looks like it's a piece of rock that goes under the trunk. Oh. And now a sub-build of the sub-build. That's always fun when you go into sub-build section, sub-buildception like that. It's rare, but it can be fun. And remember, everything that we're doing is going to be Control-C at the end, so every piece you're seeing is technically going to be done twice on our model. A sub-build of the sub-build of the sub-build? Alright, that's just going too far. But for the sake of accuracy, I know sometimes I build sub-builds right on it, but for the sake of accuracy, I'm going to do it as it says here for now. Is that the brown or... Crud, what shade is that? That's whatever shade that is. Did I use an incorrect piece, though? No, because the other brown does not exist in that color. So, therefore, by process of math and elimination, this is the brown we want for this section, because it matches color. Alright. The sub-build, sub-build, sub-build goes on to the sub-build, sub-build. Alright. That's enough joking about that, I think. I need to be able to focus. And then we get these nice little reverse arches, which are definitely showing up in the picture as a different shade of brown, just like they are here in the model. So yeah, we got all the browns correctly, for now. I have a feeling that could potentially not always be the case, given how similar these two browns are. But they are distinctly different, so there's that. They're similar, but they're distinctly different. Now what? We have this unusual piece. And so we have to go to the underside and drop these in like that. And then this whole section drops in like this. And does not line up correctly, because of course it doesn't. Alright, so there's slight angling going on here, so I need to do some guesswork. Will this allow me to attach it? Yes. So we've got... It will allow me to attach it, but we didn't have it lined up correctly. There we go. It looks lined up correctly. We're actually making much better time so far than I thought we would. We're technically a third of the way through the instruction book already, which is good. Oh wow, what's going on here? Yeah. I'd better build this one off to be safe. I've built some simple Lego trees when they were side builds for bigger sets where they were just an accessory piece. But I've never done a dedicated tree set. This is my first time on one of these. How many pieces is that? We've built half of this sub-build so far. Now that looks a little bit like a piece of chocolate cake. Good thing I ate right before stream, because if I didn't, I'd be getting hungry right about now. I had leftover chicken and a pumpkin muffin. I thought pumpkin was out of season, but, well, not complaining, because I didn't actually get to have any pumpkin this past holiday season. Alright, how does this piece line up? Does this go... Oh. The point is supposed to... Alright. I'm not seeing any collision markers. So I don't even see where the attachment point was for that. I don't really care. What matters is it got on with correct alignment. I really like these high detail sets that Lego's been doing. I know I've said it before, and I know I'll say it 1,000 more times on this channel, but Lego's been doing some really nice stuff lately with the expert builds. Lego isn't just for kids anymore. There was a nice dinosaur skeleton set that I did a few weeks ago off camera. Thinking back on it, that would have been a nice one to stream, because dinosaurs are popular. It was like dinosaur skeletons in a museum, and in retrospect, that stream might not have been as fun, because there were some... The legs, the way they connected the legs to the bases was through some pretty, was through some of the Technic parts. And the way they did it, it was hard to get some of the parts to line up correctly. But maybe I'll Maybe I'll find some way to share my folder of the photorealistic renders that I do after each build. I think you guys might like seeing those. Because it's all the sets I've done on stream. All the virtual sets I've done on stream, as well as all the virtual sets I've done off camera as well. I do photorealistic renders of every Lego set I build in the studio. Alright, so we've got that part of the tree trunk done. Okay, what's going on here? Hinge bricks. Or hinge plates, I should say. These hinge plates are annoying to work with. However, I did find a workaround. All I have to do is release them. And then it becomes two separate pieces, and I can do the angles much easier and much more cleanly. This is particularly helpful when we start building other elements on. Alright, we got to come back here, get some of these. Oh boy. My angle's wrong, isn't it? Alright, we want to be there. Then I need... I think if I do the angles correctly... Well, that's not an if I do the angles correctly. I think I am doing them correctly. So yeah, making the studio recognize this as two pieces, like all the other hinge units, is key to being able to work with these successfully. And yep, I guessed the angles correctly. So, now I guess we come here. Like that. And then we need some of these arches. And what am I supposed to do with these? These line up with the hinges like that. There is some clever build techniques going on here. And then I need these. Is this the piece? Oh, no, that's a different piece. Yeah, we got the correct piece. That's very clearly the other brown. Okay, what's going on here? And then another round of hinges. And one more. Okay, that looks good. That looks like the picture. Let us continue. Yeah. Shayna's coming over tomorrow. So we may or may not see a nice stream from her tomorrow. Depends on what she wants to do. Yeah, that's the one with the craw. So the other side. All right, so there's a lot of detail going on in this section. And having the two different shades of brown also lends some detail. What kind of piece is that? Oh, how cute! It's a little chocolate frog piece that it's using for the branch. Look at this thing. That's just... It looks more like a chocolate slug, but the piece name says it's a frog. Anyways, it's a clever use of the piece. And now, we're supposed to view it from this way, I guess. And then we're supposed to... Okay, I see what's going on this side. We have this piece. And then... No, now we need this kind of hook. And then there's a... There's a cattle horn. Like that. So now it wants us to view it from... Oh no, now we can actually put this whole thing onto the other unit. Alright, so this is oriented like that. So this has to be oriented this way. And no, I'm pointing the incorrect direction. I know, because the frog is supposed to be pointing to the back. Alright. I do not have the correct rotation on the frog. Sometimes it's hard to interpret its shape in the picture. Okay, so this is the angle we want. And then this whole unit is supposed to attach on like this. And we are even with the rest of the tree, which is good. This is where we want to be. Alright. Okay, yeah. Sometimes it's hard for me to see when there's very slight differences in shade in the instructions. Not all the instructions are printed with equal quality, but we're getting there. Here's another piece of chocolate cake. Yeah, I know, joke's not funny anymore. It was funny the first time. And even then, it was a stretch. Alright. So this whole section is supposed to line up with this whole section. Oh, that's cool. What's the, oh yeah, that's a little... Alright, so now we come around to the front view. And now we're supposed to put in some Technic connectors into these holes, because we're about to put some branches onto this tree. Alright, where's the branch pieces? It's got these, the picture's showing me these big, huge macaroni-looking things. I hope I orient these correctly, because the picture is not at a very clear angle. If I do orient them incorrectly, we can always fix them later. So the two trees, we'll name them Spring and Summer. The green one will be Summer, and the pink one will be Spring. If they had included pieces for a fall version, or I should say autumn version, then I would be doing a 3-tree stream. And then it says we're supposed to make this branch longer. So we need another one of these. Alright. I think that's the angles the picture is at. Okay. It has us doing complicated vine work. Looks like it wants the vines to start from that peg and spiral around the tree, and then wind up at the bottom peg. Dude, I don't think these vines are happening. I'll humor. Let's reset it to the palette, because once I twist it up, it's not going to be a thing anymore. So if I start it on here, and then it wants me to wrap it around the tree. Already I can see problems with how it's behaving. Alright, let's make one loop at a time. Let's take it around this way, and then drag it down. Yeah, forget about it. We're not doing the vines. You'll just have to imagine them. I'm sure it's not that big a deal once we add the rest of the detail anyway. Alright, what's going on in this picture? This picture is very unclear what it's doing. I need one of those. And elephant trunk piece. We're using elephant trunks as part of the tree details. This is actually a pretty clever set. And I need one more. And then this piece is... what's going on here? This piece. I think that's what the picture is showing. Goes onto there like that. And then this piece is doing what exactly? Comes this piece. Looks like it wants to go onto this bar like this. And of course I'm going to fat finger and release it from the move I had made. Okay, that kind of looks like the picture. I don't care if it's not perfect, because these branches are supposed to give the feel of being twisting all directions anyway, so I don't care if it's not 100% perfect. What's this connecting to now? I don't see. Oh, right there. Okay, those two elephant trunk pieces are supposed to be the roots, apparently. And then this whole tree trunk is ready to come onto the base now. And it's supposed to, the circle's supposed to line up over the white. Let's see. View, orientation, top. Sometimes this helps. I have a feeling it's going to be a big mess if we use it now, though. Alright, line up. The tree does not want to line up, so I think that's supposed to be our connection point. Let us try. Alright. So it's centered, but clearly something's wrong because we're getting collision errors. Alright, how is this thing supposed to line up? Alright, let's try this again. Little elephant trunk is below the baseline. Can I adjust that really quick? Let's try it like this first. We can adjust the roots later if we need to. And this is the end of the bag, so I'll go ahead and merge this section. I'll call this trunk. Now will it let me line it up over here? Yes. And just like that, we have the base of our tree going. Alright, that looks nice. As always, at the end of a bag, we save. Okay, we've got a tree trunk. Ooh. Bag 3, I don't think is happening on stream. Bag 3 is nice, but let me show you what bag 3 does. This is something you got to see to believe, because I've never seen anything like this in Lego instructions before. This is bag 3. You're supposed to take bag 3 and shake these little round tiles into the pot, into the little base, to be the dirt and soil around the tree base. Which means I would have to go in and individually place them through. Yeah, I don't think that's a good use of my time. We'll be here all night if I did bag 3. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to... Wow, so we got leaves to do. We have green leaves or we have pink leaves, but we're actually doing both. And then we get to make a little table and copy that over as well. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take what we've got. I'm going to create another copy of this tree. And we're going to move this one to the on deck area. And we will... I want to unlink the two sets from each other. So the second one, we'll call this pot and tree. To differentiate from the base and trunk over there. I wanted these separate in case we have to make modifications, because otherwise what we do on one will affect the other. But the leaves are going to be another whole separate submodel. So it's probably not really necessary what we just did, but we did it anyway. So here, I will let you take a look at the instructions for a minute while I go take a quick bio break. You'll see what's coming up in the second half of this program. Alright, I'll be back in a minute or two and we will continue. Here's what's coming up. Okay, I'm back. It's a little unfortunate we had to drop the vines and the dirt. However, it's not that big a deal. Once we add the leaves, you probably won't even notice anyway. This is still a very nicely detailed set as we've got it going so far. Let's go back to the studio and start working on the green tree. It begins. This first tree has started to bloom. Okay, this one says, this part says it's going to be a 3x, which means we get to take shortcuts since we're doing the computer version. We get to build it once and copy thrice. Actually, since we'll be building the first one, we only have to copy twice to make 3 copies. But you know what I meant. But yeah, the trees, they are blooming. Spring is coming. Well, spring is here. And with spring, hopefully some warmer weather. Although winter wasn't terribly cold this year, for at least here. It's weird because this year, Texas, Florida, and California all got snow, and it's rare to see a year where all 3 of them get snow. But there wasn't a single snowflake in my state, and my state usually gets 2 to 3 snow events per winter. And yet every other state had like a higher than average snowy winter, which is weird. Because usually when it's a bad winter, we get hit. Usually when it's a bad winter elsewhere in the country, we get hit too. But we weren't this year. All right, let me focus because there's some weird angles going on here. Oh no, it was just the one piece. I hope I have it angled correctly. Okay, there's a 3 times in the 3 times. All right, that means we get to save a whole bunch of time on this build. This looks like exactly the same thing we just did before with the other section. Actually, no, not quite. Well, kind of. Yeah, it is the same thing we did with the other section. So we need 3 of those, so I'll Control-C it, and then Control-V it as I place them. So this one goes here, and then this one goes here, and then this one goes up on here. And then this whole thing, I need to make 3 of these. So there's a Control-C, and let's see how they're orienting. So it looks like they orient coming off the leaves here. Coming off these, these branch pieces. I don't see how they connect, though. Oh. We want to get the axle on the side, on the underside, because they connect through that axle piece there, which takes the guesswork out of orientation. We just line them up with the trunks. And we have a collision warning there, so we got to try that again. Alright, what's wrong here? Maybe don't make it flush. Yeah, it's okay to make it not perfectly flush. Alright, let's bring in some more leaves. And now we'll line it up with this one on this side. It would help if I can see every detail of what I'm doing. So let's do that. And we need one more copy of that. And let's find our axle and make sure we're lined up. Alright, it's going to come in from that angle, and let's line it up. 1 pixel so we don't get the collision warning. And boom. This tree is really blooming now. Oh, geez. Lots of individual leaves. But hey, when we finish this step, we're done with the green tree, so let's just do it. Can I even see what's going on here? This is trippy, man. I think it wants me to put it on this one. Wow. This step is headache-inducing. Bear with me. That's 3. It wants 10 of these all together. I hope I'm putting them in the right spot. This doesn't look like the picture at all. Something went wrong with somewhere, but that's okay because it's a tree, which means it doesn't have to be precise. So I don't know why I'm trying to kill myself on this. I'll just put these wherever. There's only 10 of this little bit, but there's 33 of the next little bit. So okay. I'm just gonna probably put these in randomly because it wants specific rotations on these. That's BS. I'm just gonna put them in as is and not really bother with rotations. That's 6 of 33. Eight. Nine. This is kind of a headache, but this is definitely, it's still definitely easier than the vines would have been. And much easier than doing the dirt would have been. So that's 12. This branch does not seem to be oriented correctly according to the picture. 14. How many is that? So we've done 14 of those so far. $15. I know the counting can be annoying, but this set requires it for concentration purposes. We'll finish that branch later because it's misaligned. Let's just get some of these up here before I forget. This is a very leafy tree. They don't do so much leaf detail when trees are side builds in other sets where the tree is not the main focus. But this is the first time I think that they really did a focused tree, where the tree was meant to be the focus of the main focus of the set. Let's see. So this top section is supposed to have 7. This one is supposed to have 3, which we do. This section on the bottom, 9. This one's not oriented correctly, though. You want to have the leaves facing out. That's kind of the point of leaves. So apparently I'm still missing 7 of these things. There's 10 visible over here. You know what? I'm just going to make it up now. I got 6 left, so we're going to put 2 more on each branch. I don't think it really matters exactly where you place these things. Leaf details are one of nature's fractals anyway, so I don't think Lego intends you to totally match the picture here. This is the last leaf, and I think I'm going to toss it right here. Yeah, that looks nice. And with that, the summer tree is done. Let's go ahead and merge this up. And you know what we're going to do as well? We're going to call this green. And we're going to put this tree in a separate step. And we're going to hide this tree while we focus on the pink one. But before we hide, let's do a save because we're going into the next bag. Now let's hide what we got going here and come back and look at this tree for a while. And it looks like with this tree, we're starting with a different kind of branch. So let's zoom in on the action here. It uses these motorcycle handlebars for branches. Interesting. And now we get some white leaves with some pink details. This one it has at an angle. I'm not too concerned with angles on these, but for smaller leaves like this is indicating to be, I want to match the picture if possible. But when we get to those, when we do all those individual leaves, matching the picture isn't as important. Alright, that's good enough to the... Oh, that's interesting. Remember we were talking about chocolate frogs? Here we go. Strawberry frogs. And this set looks like it's got 100 of them in the parts list. Alright. So apparently cherry tree leaves are made from strawberry frogs. I am definitely, when with 100 of these things, I'm definitely not taking the time to rotate all of them exactly as they are in the picture. Who cares if they're 45 degrees off? It's not going to be noticeable. So this step only has 8 of the 100, but every frog will eventually count and be used on this tree. So and I have a nice little keepsake of my tree outside. Okay, that phone call is not for me, so let's proceed. Okay, and then this step has us adding 2 more frogs. Seriously, why didn't it just put in all the frogs at once? Now that's confusing to me. Oh, these are just capping off the exposed branches. And then we're supposed to put in 4 pink flowers. Oh, I like these flowers. These are better than most of the flowers I've used in past sets in the virtual studio. Some of the classic flower pieces, not that actually that great to work with. Okay, so we have 20 Lego pieces on this little branch. Half of those are strawberry frogs. And this goes in the top bar, much like that first section in the green tree. Okay. So our spring tree is starting to bloom now. And we have another 3x section. And given that we'll have to manually place a lot of the leaf details, I'm very okay with doing shorthand right now. We're going to build one, copy twice. That's something you can't do with real Lego. Let's not lose sight of the axles this time because I know that's how they connect to the tree at this point. So, oh boy. At least it's starting with the frogs here now. So I only have to manually place 10 frogs this step. Okay, though. Alright, there's a lot going on in this step. Let me puzzle this out. There's frogs. There's tree branches. There's motorcycle handlebars. Okay, let's get the flowers into place. And this whole section gets made 3 times. And then that gets made 3 times. So are we actually doing our detail placement before putting it on the tree this time? If so, that makes me happy. So I really only have to do the strawberry frogs 1 more time. And then that thing gets copied thrice, and then that thing gets copied thrice for the remaining 80 frogs after that. Again, I'm not totally concerned with which way they're facing, as long as it's some semblance of the picture. It's an interesting piece they chose for the detailing here, that's for sure. At least I don't have to manually place these 30 more times. Did I misplace? I think I misplaced one. Hold on. That's okay. It's okay if I misplaced one. Like I said before, these things are a little annoying to work with, so. And the overall effect is viewers won't notice the individual frogs in the picture. They'll just notice pink bud-shaped things. So Control C. And now this original unit. All right, we have clips going on. So this original unit is going to come here and clip on like. Okay, you told me to put the clip there. All right. Let's see. Something's wrong here. Unless, are these meant to be slightly tilted? Let's try that again. If I tilt these down to, if I tilt these at 30 degrees, another option, I can turn off collision, link the bar, and then rotate it down, and then see if that fixes the collision issue. I can already see that's not going to do so. But this doesn't give any indication of tilting. Actually, it gives indication of tilting the other way, which doesn't work at all, so. Alright, we're still showing up collision over there. What if I tilt it all the way down? And then I should be able to make this last section going straight. Alright, but I can't even see the bar right now. There it is. Alright, well having those other two sections tilt down like that does give this a little bit of dimension. But let me see if I can flatten them up a little bit. Yeah, no. Oh, maybe 10 more degrees will make it look a little cleaner. The question is, can I get these sections to line up properly? Alright, let's not lose sight of the axle, but here we go. Control C. Axle. Let's turn it so that the axle's facing this way. Let's get visual on the connector bit again. And no. So no, it's not supposed to be angled. Shoot. Well, how do we fix that without collisioning it? Unless I angle upwards. Does that... Okay. I'm sure I followed all the angles properly, though. That's the thing. Yeah, I did exactly as it said in the picture. So I don't know why nothing's lining up here. All right. Unless... What if I... Oh, that'll be a pain to do. But what if I... Alright, let's make these bottom two tiers flat again. And then... That's exactly as it told me to make them. But what if I... You know what? Probably doesn't even matter for the render, but... Let's hook up the bars. Make some... Oh, we're not even on the bars right now. I need to be able to see the connector point. You know what? We don't care about a little bit of collision. Let's just Straighten this side out as well. This is one time where the computer studio helps, actually. We don't care about a tiny amount of collision. Sure, the whole tree trunk is out, but for the render, you're not even going to notice that pieces are intersecting pieces. It won't be noticeable in the render, especially because to fit both trees will be zoomed out quite a bit. Alright. So now that we've adjusted our angles, let's try connecting again. I need to be able to see what I'm doing, though. Alright. That's where it stops. We take a pixel. And this actually lines up with the rest of the tree. So now, let's move on to the second branch. I've done sets with much larger piece counts that didn't have this level of technical detailing in it. So this is a pretty nice set in that regard. Alright, we got the connector. It's facing the wrong way. We lost the connector again. Hold on. We're coming up on an hour and a half, so by the time we build the table, we're going to be at about 2 hours. I estimated 3 hours for the stream, so that's actually pretty good. Maybe that'll help me. I can't see the axle, though. The mouse does funky things in this program sometimes. Alright, 2 down, 1 to go. And now you just saw the strawberry frogs disappear from my parts list. Because this is the last 30 of them on this section here. Yeah. Physical Lego and computer Lego both have advantages and disadvantages. This set is a good demonstrator of the advantages of computer Lego over physical Lego. But hey, if we turn off collision, we've got a beautiful spring cherry blossom tree. And you can't even tell those are frogs when we're zoomed out this far, which is about where we'll be for the render. So, let's merge up this whole program. And we will call this pink, since we called the other one green. And now we need to save, and then we get to build the table. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. This tree is getting a little... Well, first we're going to save. And then we're going to hide this tree. And then we're going to come in and start building the table. And the table itself starts off with a 2x, which means we get to cut corners again with construction time. You can see as we go through the parts list, the greenery and the pinkery is all gone. It's all one solid brown color now, except for those dirt tiles that we decided not to use. So yeah, we're gonna put these in. And then we're gonna take some plates on the edges. And remember, everything we do here is going to get copied because we need 2 of these tables because we made 2 of the trees. The table can really be considered a side build rather than mandatory, since these are both plated. I mean, since the trees are potted. Since the trees are potted, we technically don't need the table. But for full effect, we're doing it anyway. So it says to make 2 of these. So boom. We have half a table frame. And now we have a whole table frame. It would have taken us twice as long to build this table had we been doing this with physical Lego. What's going on in this step? I can't tell what's going on here. Hold on. Bear with me a minute. Oh, I see what we're doing. We're lining the inside surface of the table. And we can turn collision back on because it helps me line everything up properly. I'll have to turn it off for the render or else the spring tree won't look right. Summer tree didn't give us those issues. Oh boy. We're still going to be about an hour short of what I estimated, which is good because I'm getting tired. And I have to process the video tonight before I go to bed. Because if I wait till tomorrow, I won't be able to get it up in time because Shayna's coming over. Which may mean more stream goodness. Or may not, depends on how she's feeling. I don't let her stream if she's not behaving, so. We'll see how she is tomorrow. Alright, that's cool. We got this set up. Oh boy. Alright. So this is another time when Control C is going to help me out a lot. And I'm supposed to have these table beams go over 13 times. And it's okay to leave these two tables linked because I'm just setting stuff on top of them. So once I merge the table, I'm not going to be making any changes to the table in terms of being a unit. So wedges. And then I need slopes. Since I have to wait for the video tonight, I'm probably going to do another Lego set off camera. I've been doing a lot of the Creator 3-in-1s recently off camera. I did one of those on camera a few weeks ago, the unicorn, but most of those I've done off camera. They're not terribly exciting as far as, or they don't tend to be terribly exciting as far as Legos overall. Here's a time where it's telling us 2x. So, and then there's a tile here, and then another one of these chocolate bars, I'll call it. They're the gold bar piece, but Control C. Let's get it onto. All right, how is it supposed to line up? Like this, I think. Whatever, that's how I'm doing it. So let's see, I got the... Okay, so I see how it's going to be. I got to do that again in reverse for the other two table legs. This is a beautiful wooden table. All right, so actually that's the end of the table already. So, yeah. Let me merge this up. We'll call it table. We will duplicate it. And let us take one of the tables back into the first step. Let's bring our trees back. And let's see here. Before I place these on the tables. Okay, so this is the summer table, and this is the spring table. And we will actually turn spring around this way so that it mirrors the summer. I think that would be nice than having them. I think that would look prettier in the render than just having them point the same way. And we're gonna. I know we've got collision. That's because we're trying to put. That's because we're trying to put these on flats. But we're going to use adjustments to line them up. I want to move it over this way a bit as well. I want to have it roughly centered in both axes. All right, let's adjust height first. And then we'll do the same on the other. All right, we still have collision, what looks like a little bit of collision going on. And now we're going to adjust it this way. Okay, it's about centered on that axis. How about on this axis? No, it's not centered. We're very nearly there, though. The bottom lines almost line up. In fact, the bottom lines are kind of lining up. Not quite exactly yet, though. And I think that's about as close as it's going to get to centered on that axis. So now we just gotta figure out where we're level. Yeah, we're definitely levitating right now. And it's sitting. Do I have levitation? Very slightly. We're just about there. We've almost solved this tree. If I zoom in, there's still a little bit of levitation going on, but it's barely noticeable. I think another tick will do it. I can't tell. I think we're pretty much there. So now that we have the tree centered on the table, let's merge up spring. And now we'll do the same, setting the other tree on the other table so that we can merge up for summer. How are we on time? We're going to come in at under 2 hours. We're at 1 hour and 3/4 now. Okay. Starting from this way. Oh, let's center it this way first. Let's turn off collision for a minute so I can see how we're lining up. Okay, we're lined up on that axis. It's a pain when I have to do manual adjustments like this. But if I want things to line up perfectly, then it's something I got to do sometimes. -45, -69. It needs to come up a little higher. -93. Well, the height on this one would be the same as the height on the other one. So now if I come to here, we put it at -83. Okay. Height is the one thing that would be the same on both models because the tables are in the same level to the ground. Alright, we have this tree sitting on its table now. Let's go ahead and merge up summer. And now, let's take this tree in here. And take this tree. And you know what I'm going to do? We're going to line up the table, these table feet like this. And then we are going to do one more thing here. We're going to turn the trees 30 degrees each towards us. Boom. I think that'll be a very nice render. And I will do a slight tilt, but not so much that you can see into the base because we didn't fill the pots. We didn't put the dirt around the trees. In fact, that's more of a reason to show it level. And you can see the leaves on the left have more volume than the leaves on the right. I think it's just an effect of the pieces used. But hey, we've got a complete render here, so we got a complete ready to render here. So we're going to save it up. And I will leave you on this view while I figure out if there's anyone left to raid. It may be too late. Nope, there's people on. Who's online tonight? Oh, there's a few musicians on tonight, including one I haven't seen in a while. Wow. Excuse me. Oh, I like this guy. We're going to Music is Code tonight. Let's get the raid going. Oh, he has raids turned off. That seems to be a common issue lately. Let's see, who else do I like here? There's a lot of people on tonight. Give me a moment to decide. We did this in under 2 hours, which is pretty cool. All right. Who do I want to try instead? Ah, he's starting his show for the night. And since I have to wait for my render anyway, this is one that I really do like to listen to. So I think it's decided. But let me just make sure that it's safe to do so. Because if they've been going for a while, they could be rating out soon themselves. So I want to make sure I'm rating at an appropriate time on their stream. Ah, here's a couple gamer girls as well. But no, I want music tonight. All right, here's Patrick White. We're rating Patrick White. He does a very nice show with his guitars, and he also has a couple other instruments. He plays classic rock and oldies songs, the songs your parents grew up with, songs that are still good, and I love his show. He lives in Austria. He's originally from South Africa, I think. He's got a really good show. He's very talented. Did I just type that in the wrong space? Or... oh no. All right. All right, we're going to Patrick White. You'll love his music. Have a good night. All right, have a good night.